first job ever was at a bakery at age 14 in Newton, Massachusetts. And then I just continued to work in restaurants and other food businesses throughout high school and college, after college, and then kind of started to take it more seriously. My first management job was at the Nomad restaurant, and a former colleague over there. And then I left the Nomad and actually decided to go into pasta making. And I was a pasta maker at Missy for a year. And when the pandemic hit, I lost my job like many other people did. And I really was ready to do something that I felt was deeply meaningful. And I wanted to start in nonprofits. So I worked in a couple of nonprofits before finally landing at Hot Bread Kitchen 2 years ago. And it's really been an amazing intersection of my background in hospitality, my passion for the industry, and also an opportunity to do something where I feel like I'm having an impact and an opportunity to make some of the changes that really need to be changed in the industry and help other people kind of get their foot in the door and inspire them to also have the passion that I have for the food and hospitality business.
Now, you have been with Hot Bread Kitchen for quite a little bit, but you have this new venture that you're doing, which I really want you to share with the team here because it's really pretty exciting.
So just to give a little bit of background, Hot Bread Kitchen is a nonprofit based here in New York City. Our office is in Chelsea Market, and we do workforce development primarily. So our mission is to empower women and other people. We're kind of expanding our audience through careers and economic mobility in the food industry. So we do a number of different amazing trainings where we're getting entry-level workers into cooking roles, into front of house roles, partnering with lots of people in this room to do that. And our next step, and the new program we're launching that Kate so kindly referenced, is our management training. So we're working with employer partners who are identifying some of their top talent who really has potential to step into that next role. And we're listening to all of their needs and asking questions about, what skills do these new managers need to have? And we're working with that group and with a bunch of really amazing experts, Kate included, to develop a curriculum that will upskill entry-level cooks, servers, any hospitality workers into that first management role. We will start it in the summer, so people will be able to continue their jobs, and they'll learn everything from facilitative communication, mentorship, some, finance fundamentals and technology fundamentals. I remember myself as a new manager needing to learn Excel to do my scheduling, so we'll include things like that, some pragmatic and then some more kind of high level, people leadership skills as well.
And so the program that you developed came out of this understanding that, we've got folks who have interest and ability in their current job, cook, hostess, bartender, but we now need to give them a couple extra skills and maybe some confidence to get into that next level.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the programs that I was involved in Hot Bread Kitchen was called the Quality Jobs Initiative. And the Quality Jobs Initiative, we actually worked with employer partners like Megan and really worked directly with owners and operators to try and make jobs better, with the understanding that good jobs are good for business, right? So if you're able to retain your top talent and empower them to do their jobs well, then that will actually be so much better for your business's bottom line. The management training was and is a natural evolution of that program, because we're not just helping people to gain the skills to get that promotion, but we want them to really succeed in those roles and really feel confident and empowered, and then to kind of have that contribute to the ecosystem of that business, wherein if I'm a really good leader who knows how to, make a schedule and give feedback and do all the things that a manager needs to do, then my employees are gonna have a better time at work. And so that all kind of creates this, virtuous cycle. That's actually a phrase from our partner, the Good Jobs Institute in Boston, who are the people we've worked with to create the Quality Jobs Initiative, and who are now also helping with our management training. But the virtuous cycle is where, employees are empowered, they're trained well, and they're able, they're paid consistently, and all of those things that come with having a good job, and then that feeds into the business's success and the long-term financial success as well.
That's also an important piece. That's something, I'm an executive coach, and that's something that comes up with my leaders, is that I work with folks who are constantly on the verge of burnout. They are working way too much. They pick up all the tasks from the people below them. So that management job does not look so desirable. So it's about also changing how we at the management level do our job so that it does look like something that, ooh, not only would I maybe want to do, but looks like I could have a life doing, right?
Absolutely, and the cost of turnover is so much more expensive than a lot of people realize. And so when, it's really hard to run a restaurant, and hard to run a food business in New York City, especially, the margins are incredibly tight. And so when people are cutting costs and they're looking at, okay, how can we kind of cut costs with our workforce, that winds up being often detrimental to them financially.
And then, I'd love to hear about your partnership a little bit more as well. So how do you work together, and what's that partnership like?
On our end, our relationships with our employer partners are absolutely crucial to the work that we do. We literally could not serve our mission without these kinds of partnerships, because our whole mission is to get our graduates, our members, placed in wonderful jobs and have them be able to start their careers, and it's just really the first step for them. Our mandate is to make sure that everyone who comes through our doors and comes out of our programs and goes into that job is really adequately trained, not just in the hard skills, but also in the soft skills, and all of the professionalism is dedicated and committed, because we want our employer partners to know that our graduates are going to be their top performing employees, are going to be dedicated, committed, are going to stay with them long term, and are going to be really an asset to their teams. And if we're able to do that, then we can kind of continue to have these really productive, fruitful relationships, and then get people placed in jobs, for years to come. And so that's also really part of the vision with the management training program, is that once we are helping to upskill people from within our partner businesses, eventually those people will be hiring our graduates into entry-level roles, and we'll be training and mentoring them.
So can you walk through, we're building it currently, but can you talk through the process for people who in this room who might be interested in sending folks eventually?
To the management training specifically?
That's right.
Yeah. I'll also just give a shout out to my colleague Danya over there, who leads our employer partnership. So if you're interested in hiring folks in entry-level front of house or cooking roles, then she and I are the people to talk to. And for the management training, this is a pilot program, so we purposefully scheduled it in the summer because we know that tends to be a bit of a slower time for business. How it's working at the moment is our employer partners are selecting one or two of their entry-level employees. This could be a cook who's wanting to move up into a chef position, a server who wants to move into a dining room manager role, could be someone at a cafe or a bakery. It's really very universal, and we're working with a wide variety of employer partners. And then that person will attend training 1 day a week. It's going to be a full day training every Monday in July and August in Chelsea at Pier 57. And each day will focus on a different kind of module. So for instance, some of our modules are around mentorship and facilitative communication. We have one that's all about like P&Ls, finance and budgeting, et cetera, et cetera. And then what we're asking from the employer partners is not only to contribute their knowledge, their ideas, and their input, but also to promote these employees at the end of the training. It is, like I said, a pilot program, so we're capping it at 25 people for this current iteration, and I think we're full, sorry. But next year we will be doing this again, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to do it twice a year moving forward, because it's been amazing, the demand and the interest. If this is indicative of how people feel about this kind of opportunity, then I think we'll be able to grow the program and scale it very quickly.